Emily, how many times do I have to tell you? Hurry up, your dad is waiting.
I'm sorry, I'll bring it right away.
Jeez, you're so clueless. I can't believe you work for a big company.
Ugh!
This one's a real piece of work, isn't she? Why did Jackson even marry her?
Well, she makes good money and she's easy on the eyes.
Yeah, I guess she is pretty and has a good figure.
I am Emily. I am 30 years old and have been married for 3 months. So I'm basically a newlywed. I live with my husband, Jackson's family. Living with in-laws is not so common these days, but my husband says it's natural because he's an only child. I don't know anyone among my friends who does this, so it doesn't feel natural to me. But I keep my mouth shut because speaking up only leads to yelling. I do work for a major company and make a decent salary. My husband works for a small to medium-sized business, so he doesn't make as much. I might even make close to 1.5 times his salary. He doesn't seem to mind depending on a woman's income. Before we got married, he said he'd take care of everything and that I didn't have to work if I didn't want to. But after we got married, I ended up being treated like a servant. Not just by my husband, but also by my mother-in-law and father-in-law. I can't stand any of them. My mother-in-law is the worst. She seems to take pleasure in making my life miserable. Every time she sees me, she scowls and starts complaining.
Oh, you're going out?
Yes, I have a meeting today, so I have to leave early.
Putting on so much makeup. Is there someone you like at your workplace?
No, there's no one.
Don't lie. A woman who puts that much effort into her makeup must be interested in a man. Ugh, disgusting.
That's not true. I'm just trying out a new eyeshadow I bought.
Fine, just go already.
I wasn't even wearing that much makeup. Just a subtle, office-friendly beige eyeshadow. Though, it was a new brand I picked up on my way home yesterday. Even so, it's just a plain beige. No glitter or anything. But women tend to notice other women's makeup changes. I couldn't understand the need for snide comments as I headed to work. When I got home, everyone was waiting at Jackson's family house.
Hey, Emily, bring me a drink, will ya?
Sure.
Where the hell are my appetizers?
Here they are.
What? What is this? Who can eat this crap?
Oh, you don't like it?
Nah, it's awful. Make it again. I don't need this.
My husband tossed the appetizers I made into the sink, and he looked pleased with his petty grin. I felt an instant wave of sadness. Why do I have to endure this treatment every day? What on earth did I do to deserve this? Just then, my husband chimed in.
You have some money, right?
What?
I've been thinking. I want to move into a new house. Right, Mom and Dad?
Yes, I'd love a new house,
his mother said.
If you take out a 35-year mortgage for a new house, I'll treat you better. You'll move up from servant to housekeeper. No, to a roommate.
Really?
No, I was wrong all this time. Please forgive me. Just buy a house and I'll truly cherish you as my wife and never say anything terrible again.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious.
At that moment, I made a wrong judgment. I couldn't see through my husband's convincing act. Desperate to escape the demeaning treatment, I went along with it and took out a 35-year mortgage to buy a house. I thought it might mend my relationship with my husband. Maybe I'd get to understand him better and truly cherish him. With a glimmer of hope, I decided to buy a house. Finally, the new house was complete.
Wow, this is nice. My room looks amazing. I can't believe we get to live in such a beautiful home.
My study looks awesome too.
But a tough situation was waiting for me. My husband became even more reckless with money and stopped contributing to the household expenses. He also started going out every night. I wondered if he was hitting the bars. I had always contributed more to our living expenses. It wasn't that my husband gave nothing. His contributions helped. Now, he's giving zero, not a cent. So, I had no choice but to work as hard as I could. My main job couldn't possibly cover the mortgage, so I started a side gig. My company allows side gigs, so I took on jobs I could do from home. I couldn't earn much due to my lack of skills. However, as I got the hang of it, my earnings increased, and I was glued to my computer late every night. Gradually, this took a toll on my body. Before I knew it, I was exhausted and even developed a fever.
Oh, I'm hot.
I feel dizzy. After a meeting at work, I tried to stand up, but collapsed. That's when I was rushed to the hospital. When I regained consciousness, I was lying in a hospital bed.
Where am I?
Oh, right, I collapsed. What should I do? I still have pending tasks. I checked my phone and saw messages on WhatsApp from colleagues and superiors telling me to take it easy. I felt blessed to have such caring colleagues. As I was looking at my phone, the door burst open. It was my mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law!
She rustled through her bag and pulled out some papers. Here it comes again. I assumed it was about divorcing my husband.
Sign this paper!
I couldn't see well without my glasses, but I managed to scribble my signature. So we both had our personal seals with us, and we used them to finalize the documents. The reason I wasn't wearing my glasses? I broke them when I collapsed at work. So yeah, my handwriting probably looked atrocious. It wasn't illegible or anything, but without my glasses, that's the best I could do.
Now I can give you $5 million.
What?
You don't have your glasses. Can you see it if I hold it this close?
This is
That's right, it's a gift agreement.
Normally, anyone would see that a divorce petition and a gift agreement are completely different in format. But I had thought mother-in-law was planning to force me into signing a divorce paper because she's always been out to get me. When I wore new eyeshadow once, she accused me of cheating, so I thought she was trying to frame me. Then, she'd snatch the alimony from me in a divorce lawsuit. But that wasn't it at all. As I stood there completely baffled, mother-in-law began to cry quietly.
I'm so sorry, Emily. Please forgive me.
What's going on? Her sudden tears threw me off. Did I say something wrong? But I hadn't said anything to hurt her. So I was utterly confused and even more panicked.
Truth is, I was told to harass you, or else they'd do something terrible to me.
What?
Your father and Jackson, they treat you like a servant, right? I wanted to treat you well, but they said I had to harass you too.
Really?
Once, when you weren't around, I suggested we stop bullying you. They yelled at me and sold something valuable of mine. I'm so sorry. I was weak.
I see. Was my mother-in-law told this by them? So that's why my mother-in-law had been so awful to me.
I want to give you $5 million as a way to make amends.
No, I can't accept that much money. Let's cancel what we just did.
It's fine. I don't have much time left. I want you to have it.
What?
I have cancer.
What? What a twist. I never knew my mean mother-in-law who had been tormenting me had cancer. And apparently it's pretty advanced. She said she doesn't want to spend her last days in a hospital because it won't get her better. Instead, she's been going to a clinic that specializes in palliative care.
I only have a few more visits to the clinic. I want to give you something before I'm gone.
But what about my husband and father-in-law if they find out?
Don't worry about them. What's important is that you find happiness. I know I don't have the right to say this, but please leave my son.
Mother-in-law,
promise me you'll find happiness. It's my last wish.
Yes, I understand. I'll make sure to do that. I was crying. I never knew that the woman I hated so much was actually thinking about me. And where did the $5 million come from? Turns out, it was left by her late father, who was incredibly wealthy. Given that Jackson's family home looks totally average, mother-in-law must have been saving the inheritance. She insisted that it was okay for her to give me this significant amount. Though, I had no idea what to do with such a staggering sum. So, I accepted it. After that, I recovered and left the hospital. I took some time off before going back to work. And there's one thing I want to do before that. It's to divorce my husband. Can you leave this house?
What? This is my house.
I'm the one who's been paying the mortgage, and it's in my name. I don't need you anymore.
Don't get smart with me. Since when did you become so important?
I'm certainly more important than you. Sneaking out to the other women's homes at night.
What?
I noticed unfamiliar makeup or something on your shirt. I hired a detective because I suspected you were cheating.
What did you just say?
See this picture? All lovey-dovey on a date? Gross. So physically close.
That's,
I have plenty more evidence. Want to see?
This is truly revolting. What is this? Disgusting.
My husband looked pale as a ghost. He must have thought he'd never get caught cheating. At first I thought maybe he was at a pub. After all, he enjoys drinking outside. Turns out, he was spending time at a younger woman's house. And they were, well, involved. I was disgusted. Why had I let this terrible man boss me around all this time? If I had been stronger, I could have stood up to him. But the old me was isolated at Jackson's family home. So, I had no allies and couldn't say a word. I was scared, and it's embarrassing to admit. But now it's different. I have my powerful mother-in-law by my side.
Really? What a repulsive son I have. I can't believe he's my child.
Mom, what are you talking about?
I'm done listening to you too. Right, Emily?
Yes.
How dare you betray me? Mom, are you okay with this?
Are you threatening me? I'll report you to the police if you use dangerous words.
Don't get out of your place, woman. Men are superior to women. Know your place.
Enough! You shut up too, you cheater!
What?
You were cheating too, right? Like father, like son. What a disgrace. Give me back my life.
No.
Unbelievably, my father-in-law had been cheating too. I was unaware of this and utterly shocked. What a bunch of creeps. They felt like creatures from another dimension.
You and Jackson will be paying damages in the divorce court, got it?
What? I don't want to pay. You've got Grandpa's inheritance. That should be enough.
That inheritance went to Emily.
What? Huh?
We made a formal agreement for a living gift.
What? Why would you give it to her? I could have used it. I wanted to inherit it.
Look, You guys weren't even going to get the stuff set aside for you in the first place.
What?
Truth is, I have terminal cancer. I'll be gone soon. You guys can't inherit anything because you treated Emily so poorly. You've made my life miserable, and your dad's been cheating for years. You don't deserve anything.
What the heck is going on? This is outrageous.
They had made mother-in-law's life unbearable. They did things too cruel to even put into words. That's why they couldn't inherit anything, not even the stuff set aside for them. I thought, how foolish. Had they not acted that way, they would have at least received what was initially set aside.
So, get out. I never want to see your face again. You, get out too.
What? Hey!
Mother-in-law and I kicked our husbands out, and we locked the door from the inside.
Thank you. And I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I didn't want to go to the hospital, but I heard the palliative care units are quite nice now, so I've decided to check in.
Is that so?
I've been healthy all my life and wanted to spend my last moments at home, but a hospital feels safer.
Well, there are doctors and nurses. So mother-in-law checked into a hospital with a palliative care unit. 2 months later, she passed away. I guess it was really the end for her. After that, I went through with the divorce. Mother-in-law had already divorced before her passing. I was able to secure a settlement from my ex-husband during the divorce trial. He came to the house and begged to be let in. He apparently has no more money, even for a budget hotel stay. He had been wasting money on gambling and giving gifts to women. I wondered why I had ever married him in the first place. I had no knack for picking the right guy, not a single redeeming quality.
I got dumped by Olivia, and now I have nowhere to live.
Olivia? The woman you cheated with?
Yeah, can you believe she left me for some guy who makes more money and looks better? I've been trying my best here.
Well, I wouldn't want you either if I were her. You had your fun with younger women. Consider it a life lesson. I hung up the annoying call from my ex-husband right away, and then I blocked his number. I've already received the settlement from the divorce. There's no need to keep in touch. As for what happens to him next, it's none of my concern. I don't know how my father-in-law is doing, but rumor has it he's disliked by the entire family. He's being avoided for being the worst kind of man, who always belittled his wife and didn't even attend her funeral. I used to despise my mother-in-law, but not anymore. Sure, she was weak and felt the need to harass me, but thanks to her, I've become stronger in some ways. I'm planning to visit her grave and clean it on her monthly Memorial Day.